Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm meteorologist Jonathan Bellis, and it feels like a great spring break out there.
Yeah, it's like spring break weather across our area. Temperature about 10 degrees above average, in fact. Really nice weather conditions walking around campus here on this Tuesday. Getting ready for final exam week. It almost feels like final exam week in April, not final exam week in December.
Yeah, it feels like we've gone back instead of forward into December. It feels like we've gone back a few months. And the easterly wind bringing in more moisture has brought in a couple of clouds and maybe even a shower across a couple of our localities too.
That's right. And that moisture, we could also see some dense fog developing later tonight in some isolated areas. Fog will occur more than likely, though, here across our area as we get lows into the mid to low 50s here across our area and warming up into the upper 70s tomorrow.
Yeah, looking around the country, the two main stories right now are in the northeast and across the southwest, looking at rainfall and even some snow up into the mountains of California.
Yeah, pretty unusual. There is not too far from Sacramento, in fact, getting into some of that snow.
Yeah, no snow here for the Winter Festival later this week, though. We're looking much closer to normal, as you mentioned, exam week temperatures in April.
Yeah, there's above average temperatures, but right now we'll go ahead and take it over for an overview of the show with Melanie.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, we're really seeing those good conditions here, but elsewhere around the rest of the nation, they are not seeing that. They're actually getting some pretty severe rain in California right now. There's a potential for some flooding, which we will talk about later on in the show. And up to our northeast and up in Boston, New York, they're getting some snow. So we may be seeing those clear and sunny, warm conditions, but everywhere else, it's not really seeing those conditions. But let's take it back home. We're sitting at 77 right now. The clouds are really starting to roll in, and the clouds are going to be continuing to roll in for the rest of the week. But taking a look at the week ahead, there's going to be some warm days, cool nights, but the rain is going to return for the weekend. Now, the rain chances aren't very high, but the chance for rain is there, so just be careful of that for your weekend. But looking at tonight, another calm night, 54, but there is a chance for some dense fog after 4 a.m., and that's going to be ending at 9 a.m. So if you're driving to work, make sure to have those headlights on, be careful of the fog, but now we're going to take it back to the desk.
All right, it's time to look forward to Saturday. We have to look forward to game day. We've won 28 straight now, but we're heading to Charlotte for our next game.
That's right, a huge game, ACC title game, Saturday at 8 p.m. on national television up there in North Carolina. We could be seeing some very cool conditions and also rainy conditions in that area.
Yeah, this is a neutral site game because of the championship, kind of like how we started back in Dallas earlier in the year. But the weather this time is going to be considerably different with rainy conditions, which our Noles don't typically play well in.
Yeah, hopefully we will play well, but of course that was in a dome back there in Texas and Arlington. But now, you know, playing in those weather conditions outside, it could be a little bit tricky. Maybe slick balls potentially, depending on how much we pass the ball, it could become problematic.
Yeah, with some of those showers, we could have a little bit of wind too, but that shouldn't be any problem for any of our kickers, though.
That's right, but right now we'll go ahead and take it over to our first local forecast with Melanie.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, hopefully our football players are adjusted to the rain at this point, so hopefully we'll do good. But right now we're sitting at 71 in Tallahassee, partly cloudy. The clouds are starting to roll in, and our dew point is relatively mild, so the humidity is relatively mild. Taking a look at the rest of the Big Bend, though, they're sitting at 80 in St. Mark's. They're actually hitting 68 in Quincy, so they're a little bit chillier than we are, and it's 73 in Bainbridge. So we're seeing the high 60s, low 70s, and we even reached that 80-degree high temp today. So it's going to be the trend, the warming trend for the rest of the week. But taking a look at our satellite and radar, there's little cloud cover in the morning, but that cloud cover is really starting to increase as we move into tonight and into the rest of the week. And taking a look around the southeast, it's the same story. There's just some few clouds down to our south, up to our northwest or northeast, and it's the same with the water vapor. We're seeing this dry air indicated by the browns on the screen, and this green air, all this moist air, is going to be moving into our area this weekend, and that's going to be the potential for the rain for the rain that is going to be possible this weekend. For our futurecast temperatures, though, tonight it's going to be 68, and those temperatures are going to dip down back into the mid-50s. So basically the trend that we have been seeing the past few days, cool nights, warm days, it's going to be continuing. So as we reach our overnight low of 55, we're going to climb back up to around 3 o'clock on Wednesday. We're going to be sitting at 72 here in the in the capital city, 72 in Monticello, 71 in St. Mark's. Much of the region is going to be sitting at the same temperatures. We're going to be sitting at the low 70s, and as we continue into Wednesday night around 10 p.m., we're going to be reaching 59 again, so another cool night in the Big Bend region. But if you want to go out to the beach tomorrow, it's going to be a relatively nice day. It's going to be sunny. The winds are 10 knots, surf 2 to 3 feet, but that UV index is still high, so if you do go out to the beach, make sure to bring those hats, those glasses, those sunscreen, whatever you can to protect yourself from the sun. And for the waters are going to be a smooth to light chop. So if you go out on the boat, just be careful. Tonight we're going to be sitting at 54. Again, be careful of that dense fog after 4 a.m. in the early morning hours. If you are driving to work, put on those headlights. Be very cautious of the dense fog. Tomorrow we're going to be sitting at 77 degrees. There's going to be abundant sunshine, another warm afternoon, much like today, and that's going to be the story basically for the rest of the week up until Friday, that is, when the rain chances start to pick up for our weekend. Now those rain chances may not look nice for the weekend. They're very small rain chances though, but very seasonable for the rest of the week with those highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. But now for a more broad look, let's take it to Shane for around the southeast.
Thanks, Melanie. Now, if we could take a look at this map, it really exemplifies what I was trying to come up with today. That's a one word to sum up what happens when we have a cold front moving across the southeast. That word I've come up with is change. We get a real change in temperature when a warm air mass and a cold air mass collide, and the boundary where they meet is called the cold front, which I can point out on the map here. It's here from the Gulf Shores of Alabama up past Atlanta into South Carolina. And we can really tell where it is because it's either unchanged temperatures or actually warmer in Savannah here in these orange shaded regions over southern Georgia. And then it gets colder where the cold front has come through here from Tupelo to New Orleans. They've dropped 6 degrees over the last day. And then where the cold front was earlier and it's warming back up from, that's way out there in Texas, where near Amarillo temperatures have climbed a whole 30 degrees over the last 24 hours. That really is impressive, but it's not that warm actually. Here's the actual temperatures, and it really indicates where those air masses are right now. As we've said, it's 71 degrees here in Tallahassee. It also is 71 in Montgomery, in both capitals of Alabama and Florida. We've got 66 in New Orleans, and then back there behind the front, 46 in Tupelo, 41 in Little Rock. Check out the 30-degree temperature difference. That goes to show how strong this cold front is. We look at the dew point, that's another great indicator. It shows where the moisture in the atmosphere is right now. And we see a band of green here on the map along where the cold front is, a dew point of 50 in Montgomery, 47 in Atlanta, 54 in New Orleans. These are relatively dry. The closer they get to 70, that means it's more humid and sticky outside, just unpleasant in general like we've got in South Florida. On the water vapor map, we can see that relatively dry here in Tallahassee and shades of green there in Miami where they're picking up a lot of rain right now. Satellite and radar is telling the same story, mostly clear over southern Georgia and northern Florida, just a little bit of rainfall moving in over North Alabama, and a few scattered clouds over Tallahassee. With the winds are currently coming out of the east, and we're going to jump right back past that so I can show you what's on its way. This is that front, which is becoming stationary. That means, as the name implies, it's going to hang around over the next few days, and it's not going to bring us a lot of trouble. It's just going to slide over our region, and it's really going to be responsible for patchy fog, if anything. We're not expecting rainfall. In fact, tomorrow it should be warm and sunny again. So, taking a look at some specific numbers, tonight here in the capital, we're going to get down to a low of 54 degrees. 54 also in Atlanta, Little Rock getting down to 36 degrees. And how high will it climb tomorrow? Only 48 degrees there in Little Rock, 76 in New Orleans, and 77 here in Tallahassee. What do you think of those temperatures, guys?
It's a little bit too warm for a Winterfest, but unfortunately, if you like that sort of warm weather, you're going to have to head downtown this Saturday evening for a little bit of a winter taste here in Tallahassee.
That's right. Between 3 and 10 p.m. Saturday, we'll be seeing the Winter Festival for Tallahassee. The theme this year for this, of course, we're talking about peppermints. We're also talking about penguins. And what else, John?
Poinsettias as well. This year they're bringing out the ice skating rink downtown in Kleeman Plaza. The Jingle Bell Run kicks off at 7:15 or 6:15 here in Tallahassee, goes around downtown, and then at 7:15 the winter parade that happens every year here in Tallahassee kicks off.
That's right. Also, well, there's also going to be a lighting ceremony, Jingle Bell Run a parade, of course. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over to John with a more of a national look at things.
Yeah, if you want those cooler temperatures, you're going to have to head pretty far north, way up into the middle part of the United States. Look at that snow up in northern Minnesota, across the Great Lakes. Some snow actually falling in upstate New York and Pennsylvania as well, turning into rain down towards D.C. and Nashville and Knoxville as well. The big story across the western part of the country is mainly going to be this low pressure system, which has been bringing in a lot of rainfall, 2 to 4 inches of rainfall for much of California and into Nevada as well. And that's going to continue over the next day or so. Some snow falling from some upper level energy across much of Wisconsin, Wausau picking up about an inch or two of snowfall there. And then Buffalo picking up a little bit of snowfall, but warm air is marching on towards the north from the southeast, turning that snow over to rainfall as well as a wintry mix for now. And that's not going to last more than an hour or two more before it really turns over to rainfall. Well, that warm air is really marching towards the north. Off towards the west, we're looking very rainy, which is not the normal picture of what we've seen over the last couple of years, really. Some rainfall. They picked up 2 to 4 inches of rainfall in some spots from San Francisco over to Eureka up in Northern California, and even down towards Los Angeles they saw some rainfall. And this snowfall is really becoming impactful. Some of the ski companies there are starting to open up the lodges up there where they're seeing 1 to 2 feet of snow up above 9,000 feet there from Reno down towards Yosemite National Forest. Really picking up a lot of snowfall. This is the first snowfall of the season for most of those places, and that's the reason we have this winter weather warning in effect for the mountains in eastern California and really down towards the south. They've seen a lot of rain recently, and that's the reason for these flood advisories just east of San Francisco and across southern California out there. Up towards the north and east where you saw that snow changing over to freezing rain. Winter weather advisory there for 1 to 3 inches of snowfall across most of these areas. And then upwards of 1/100th of an inch of ice on top of that, so it could make some of the roads slick there. I wanted to dive into Southern California one more time. Here's that snowfall from Carson City down towards Mammoth Lakes and the Yosemite National Forest here. Rainfall off towards the west, and mind you, the low pressure system is way off towards the west. That's going to march off towards the east and bring in even more rainfall. No rainfall here in sight across much of the southeast. A couple of light showers across northern Alabama from Huntsville up towards Knoxville and maybe up into D.C. through this evening. And then temperatures really holding steady across the southeast. But this is the thing that's coming on in. Much warmer temperatures off towards the west for most of the country. Temperatures here in Dallas tonight sitting at 46 degrees here. And travel delays, San Francisco, the trouble spot right now, and off towards the northeast where that snow is starting to work in as well. Tonight's forecast, we're looking like this. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s across the south and east, and then 72 in Miami, the warm spot right now. And then heading off towards tomorrow's forecast, we're looking like this. Temperatures into the 70s across most of I-10, and heading into current temperatures with Shane now, also looking like the low 70s here.
Indeed it is. It's actually quite comfortable across most of the Big Bend region, even peaking at 80 degrees here in St. Marks. 72 up there in Bainbridge, 71 in Mariana. These temperatures are really comfortable across most of the board right now. Let's take a look at the cloud cover right now as well. Like I said, during the southeast, there's not much to speak of here. We've got passing clouds over most of the region, nothing too significant. Reading a little bit of overcast skies here and there, but clouds are not so thick that the sun can't peek through and see a beautiful sunset tonight. Looking at the bigger picture right now, where we stand in the grand scheme of things with this weather maker, we're really in the clear for the most part here in Tallahassee, so we remain. The front that we keep talking about is up here, leaning across northern Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia. That's that really defined ridge of clouds right here with scattered showers moving in and out. That's going to continue to remain with us in the southeast for a few days still. There's that stationary front, the combination red and blue line here on the map, with the high pressure system behind it that's going to push it, or try to push it. After all, it is a stationary front. It's going to stubbornly remain in place for a few days. It's going to remain there over central Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and how we're going to sense its presence is dense fog in the early mornings around here. we're actually calling for some dense fog advisories. It could be pretty dangerous. So whether we get the advisories or not, just be careful outside. Patchy fog is going to come in after 1 a.m. We're expecting that to cause some driving hazards. So we can all avoid those hazards if everyone puts on their low beams and drives cautiously. Leave early, give yourself a little extra time so you don't have to rush on the way into work tomorrow. And then once that fog burns off, we're going to have warm conditions, sunny skies, another beautiful yet unseasonably warm early December day here in the capital of Florida. Let's take a look at the beach forecast. If you don't have class tomorrow, if you're that fortunate, or you want to take your final exam studying down to the beach, here's what we're going to be looking at. Surf of 2 to 3 feet, winds from the northeast at 10 knots, and a UV index of 11. With those sunny skies, it's going to be quite sunny out there, even running a little risk of sunburn, so bring the sunscreen out there. I don't think anyone would want to be swimming in the temperatures of the water out there, but who knows? If you're taking your boat out, the similar conditions for wind and waves prevail. We're looking at smooth to light chop, so pretty calm, pretty pleasant overall. Tonight, 54 in the capital and Bainbridge. Remember that dense fog after 4 a.m. We're going to look at a high of 77 tomorrow in Tallahassee and Monticello, 78 in Quincy. For an all-around warm afternoon, it's going to be very beautiful. And there's that 7-day forecast we were talking about. These conditions will continue to prevail for the next few days. It's going to be really beautiful out there, looking at a pretty sunny weekend with just a few chances of rain as we get ready for the ACC championship.
Yeah, that's good. Thankfully, we won't be seeing that rain till the weekend, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, but now it's time to turn back the clock for weather history. What have we got today?
Well, this day on 1951 in Alta, Utah, they had 64 inches of snow, and that's the greatest single snowstorm in their state's history. It lasted from the 2nd to the 7th of December.
That's remarkable. Speaking of snow, in 1982, Casper, New York reported 22 inches of snow, just 4 inches shy of the all-time record for December. Note that that's just 2 inches shy of 2 feet of snow, which is just unbelievable to think of for Floridians.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, thankfully, we don't see any snow over here in Florida, but now we're going to take it to John for Around Florida.
The thing that is history here in Florida is the cool air here, and also the sunshine in some parts of the Space Coast here. They had cloudy skies from Orlando up towards Jacksonville today with some showers moving in, but those have since dissipated. The moon's starting to peek out here in Fort Myers and also in Key West with temperatures in the low to mid 70s across the state. And here's those clouds that pushed across the state today. Some high-level clouds across the southern part of the state, and then some low-level clouds that brought a few showers from the Space Coast parts north, and even a couple of passing clouds here across the Big Bend area here in Florida. Here's that moisture that came in from the southwest in the upper levels. That's bringing in a lot more moisture, almost feeling like summer down across Alligator Alley and across much of the Keys way down in South Florida. And some dry air still hanging around here in the Big Bend area, and that's what kept most of the showers at bay. But there were a couple of showers down closer to the coastline and also up in northern Leon County here in the Big Bend area. And heading off towards the east in Jacksonville, there's plenty of rainfall off in the Atlantic, but most of that stayed there. A couple of showers making it into the western parts of the Jacksonville area in the St. Johns River Valley there. And across I-4, there were a couple of showers here as well. The main story here is the easterly flow coming off the Atlantic. That's going to be with us over the next couple of days, so expect more showers, and that also brings in moisture during the overnight hours, and that leads to the fog. So there could be some fog potential tomorrow morning, even some dense fog areas in patchy spots. Those low-lying areas along the interstate, you're going to want to be careful across I-10, especially off towards the east, maybe closer to Jacksonville. It could be a little bit worse, so bring those low beams tomorrow morning as you're heading across the state. Down towards the south, they saw a couple more showers across Alligator Alley and then closer to Miami, but most of them, again, off towards the east. These will continue to move off towards the west across our area during the overnight hours. Dense fog, again, that possibility is there during the early morning hours closer to sunrise. This frontal boundary is kind of acting like a lid for the moisture. Dry air off towards the west and moist air off towards the east. We're going to be kind of soupy here tomorrow morning, and that moisture really increases as we head into the middle and end of the week, because these east winds are continuing to bring in moisture. So you add more moisture, you get more fog in the early morning hours. So this isn't going to be a one-day thing. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings are all going to be a little bit on the foggy side until this stationary front moves off towards the east. will be in the mid-70s during the afternoon hours with a couple of clouds passing through, and then maybe a shower chance on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tonight's forecast, we're looking at 54 degrees here in Tallahassee, 64 degrees down closer to Fort Myers, and 72 in Key West. Tomorrow looking fantastic up near the middle 80s in Fort Myers and across west central Florida and southwest Florida, 70s here across I-10. Casey, what have you got for us around the wintry parts of the area?
Well, we're seeing very cool conditions across our northern part of the nation. It doesn't really seem like it here, but winter weather, of course, really becoming the story in the northern part of the country, the tropics. Of course, the segment that we sometimes use of this slide in the show, those are kind of becoming less of a factor as hurricane season did end on November 30th. That's a couple days ago. Now, going ahead and taking a look at the north central part of the country, we see areas near Minneapolis getting into some heavy snow. Central Minnesota also getting into Wisconsin near Green Bay. There's some snow there. Detroit up toward New York State as well. There's even some weather advisories there that I'll get into toward that area. Current conditions wise right now across our nation, we see 71 here in our area, but much cooler weather. We're seeing really nice conditions here in our part of the nation, but the northeast, north central, very cool weather down to 21 right now in Minneapolis, 33 degrees in Billings, very cool weather conditions. Though at least in Billings, they are seeing nice weather in those communities. Now going ahead and taking a look here, we do see in the northeast there is a winter weather advisory. This means it could be some snowy conditions into some of these areas, and that's occurring already. In fact, we see toward the northeast, we're talking about areas near Binghamton, New York, Albany, New York as well, down toward New York City, some snow occurring just to the northeast of there. Boston, over toward western parts of Massachusetts. We're talking about areas around Springfield, Massachusetts as well. To see some snowy conditions even further to the west as we see out toward the central part of the nation. Detroit, right on the edge of some snow, but areas just to the north of Grand Rapids going to get into the snow here as well. And that's occurring because of areas near Wausau, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, some snowy conditions in toward those areas. Now let's go ahead and transition into nicer weather conditions, though. We do see here in the tri-state area, sitting at 71 degrees here in the metro area. Now as we go ahead and look, though, we see temperatures a little bit cooler up towards southeast Alabama, 65 degrees right now in toward Dothan, and up in toward areas around in toward Mississippi as well, even cooler weather. Talking about Meridian, Mississippi, down towards 62 degrees at this hour. Now we do see nice weather here, mainly across our area. A few showers trying to develop over northeast Florida. Very hard to see, though, here on the map. And then toward tonight's forecast, we'll be seeing temperatures in the mid-50s, 54 here in the metro area. Much cooler up toward Meridian, Mississippi, though, 46 degrees in toward that area. And tomorrow we'll be seeing nice conditions again, summer-like weather here in toward parts of December. Right now, though, we'll go ahead and take it back over to the desk with Shane and Melanie.
Thanks, Casey. While we're soaking up the sun here in Florida, California is soaking up a lot of rain.
Yeah, they're actually quite thankful for that rain because they've been going through a pretty bad drought, so the rain is going to be quite a relief to them.
Indeed. In fact, those regions of California are notorious for their droughts and wildfires, but this rain is kind of a mixed bag. It has a bit of a problem along with the blessing.
Yeah, there's a chance for flash flooding, which could also lead for the chance to mudslides, which could cause travel delays. So if you are traveling, just be careful of those delays.
Oh yeah, from San Diego up to Los Angeles, even as far north as San Francisco, they're looking for all these regions to receive at least an inch of rain, which doesn't sound like much to us, but it is a lot for these parched regions.
Yeah, and some of the locations could even be receiving up to 4 inches of rain, so that would be quite a blessing for them.
Yeah, indeed. Now to talk about what kind of rain we expect to see here in Tallahassee, let's throw it out to Casey for one last local.
That's right. We're not really expecting too much rain here across our area, as we'll get into it, but a few scattered showers can't be ruled out. 71 degrees right now here at the Tallahassee Regional Airport as of the latest observation. We see the humidity a little bit of a factor, 66%. More humid conditions as it feels more summer-like here across our area. No breeze to help make it feel cooler. As you see, 71 here in the metro area, but we're actually sitting pretty cool in Quincy, 64 degrees there in toward Gadsden County, but a pretty big temperature contrast between there and Wilma, 78 degrees there in Wilma, and right at the coast, St. Mark sitting at 80 degrees, being influenced by Gulf moisture, keeping their temperatures a little bit warmer there. Now, your relative humidity, also some variations. We do see 83% in toward Quincy. Very high humidity there, and very high humidity, the general picture here across our area, higher than what you would expect to see for this time of year here across the Big Bend region, southwest Georgia as well, because of nice conditions, more summer-like warmer, above average temperatures, as I was talking about with John a little bit earlier at the desk, making it feel really nice out there. Now, we do see satellite and radar, though. We were seeing a few showers trying to develop right on the edge of your screen out toward areas like Lake City, but really not too big of a factor here across our area. We do have some high-level clouds, though. That might be keeping those temperatures down a few degrees, but really not playing too big of a factor in toward the forecast and in toward the current weather situation. Now, we are expecting some dense fog, though, tomorrow morning. That's probably the biggest weather story, and the biggest takeaway message here is that, and you need to make sure you use those low beams if you're going around toward our area tonight and tomorrow morning when you're putting your lights on, because it's very important to do that so you can see exactly the weather situation and exactly the road that you're on. Now, we do have a stationary front, though, to our north and west. We do see that there could be some patchy fog after 1 a.m. as we get into Thursday as well. Fog not going away here across our area here as we get into toward your Thursday. But besides the fog and a few scattered showers, weather conditions overall pretty nice here across our viewing circle. Now, going ahead and taking a look into Thursday, we will see warm conditions really be the story still. We'll start to see a cool down, though, as we get late into the week and early next week. We'll keep an eye on it for you here in the Weather Center to see how that develops. So as we get into toward your finals week, to see if any more moisture maybe comes back in toward the forecast. If you're going out to maybe Bowdoin tomorrow, going across our area, we will see those waves pretty low, 2 to 3 feet. But now, in terms of the sunrise and sunset times, we do see the sun will be going down about 5:36 in the evening hours. Temperatures across the area tonight, again, 54 here in the metro area, a little bit cooler up toward our north and west. 77 tomorrow, a nice day here across our area. But in that 7-day forecast, we see those temperatures staying relatively nice with 70s and 50s with only a few isolated showers over the next 7 days before a slight cool down as we get into early next week around Tuesday. Right now, back to the desk with Melanie and Steve.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, those temperatures are staying relatively warm compared for this time of the year. We're used to seeing 10 degrees actually lower than what it's been.
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool enough in the morning that maybe you can break out the light jacket. But if your class isn't until 10:10, you probably don't need a jacket at all. You can make it in shorts and a t-shirt.
Exactly. And then if you're traveling in the morning, you have to be careful for that fog. But those rain chances will be coming back Friday for the weekend.
Indeed, yeah, there'll be minimal here in Tallahassee. But for anyone going up to Charlotte for the game, be sure to dress for the cool temperatures and for the rain. We're thinking ponchos over jackets because the temperatures are going to be pretty chilly.
Yeah, they're going to be in the low 50s. So if you are going to the game up in Charlotte, just be careful of that.
Yeah, now if you like us, you can follow us on all the social medias. We are on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube at FSU Weather. And you can watch us anytime here on livestream.com/FSU Weather or follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, and you can watch us on YouTube as well. But we're going to be looking at a great rest of the week. So have a great week. Have a great night. I'm student meteorologist Melanie Steinberg.
And I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton. Stay safe in the fog tomorrow. And as always, go Noles.